Alright guys, welcome back. What you guys just saw there is the just under 3 acres that we're gonna be using for our establishing our first pig paddock. What was it, 2.75 acres? So we're gonna divide that into 5 half-acre paddocks, give or take, based on orientation. So far, what I've done is I've gone through and I've cut alleys for running the electric wire. We're going to use 2 strands of the high tensile electric stainless wire, and we're going to run it first line 6 inches, second line 12 inches off the ground. Today I'm pretty much going to go through and set all the fence connectors onto the T-posts, and then run the first of the 2 outer stretches of wire to set up the boundary for the pig paddocks. And then after I get that established, I'm going to go back through and do the middle ones and section off each one. I'm going to walk you guys through exactly what I do each step of the way. You'll see some B-roll in there demonstrating different techniques that I use. I've just done a lot of research on the internet, and I've done a little bit of fencing. So, all right, guys, welcome. This is Rosie. Hey, Rosie. And today we're going to be starting at this T-post. So, I'm just going to drive it into the ground. Go about 6 inches past that little spade bit there. And then, yeah, and then I'm gonna run the connectors and go through a little bit of what we got here. So I got the high tensile on the spinning jenny. I got some 14 gauge wire. I got some ceramic clips, fence tensioner. What else is in there? Some of the old cheapo yellow ones, that's all they had at the time. So we're gonna be going through that. All right, folks, so today I'm gonna be using these red snappers, the rounded over corner post donut insulators. Yeah, I just picked these up at Tractor Supply. They're American Farmworks corner post donut insulator. That's pretty much all I got to say about them. They're these ones should be pretty decent. The job isn't too difficult. All right, I'm gonna go into hooking up the wire and putting them on the T-posts. So we'll get into that. Like a lot of people, a lot of my ideas came from Polyface Farms, and watching different homesteading channels on YouTube. I like learning from other people's lessons learned, and there is a lot of lessons learned out there that if I can let other people make them and save me a little bit of cash, then thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, making these things, it seems like it's going to be the best way to attach them to these T-posts. Anyways, that's what Joel had in his book. Just run it through. I'm also using a less gauge wire than what the high tensile fence is. So if something runs through it, hopefully it'll break the connector or something, or break this, and I won't have to end up splicing that, the high tensile fence. I did end up getting 4,000 feet of it. I was looking for the, what was it, the 180 PSI, but all my local shop had was 200 when I was buying it, and I bought it on sale probably about 8 months ago. Didn't even need it, just bought it because I knew I was going to end up doing this. But as far as building these connectors, yeah, it's just double loop it. I'm running down my T-post and get roughly 6 inches off the ground, I'm gonna pinch it, and I'm just gonna turn it once, turn it twice, and I'm gonna come in here and clamp it back in. But the tension running to the other post is what's gonna keep this vertical. And depending on if I'm doing a turn, you can turn it sideways, orientate it however you need. I've never used these, but they seem pretty legit. All right, I went back, got 2 of the right tools for the job. We'll see if we can pop some of this wire off. Well, maybe I should have got the other thing. Thing's kicking my ass. Got one of them. Get in your home. Right in that bucket. Alright. Let me get my gloves. Looks like just brute force on the edge of these bands. Alright. There's 2. This is where it gets sketchy. I assume it's going to unroll. Get caught up in these arms right here. Alright, one left. Rosie back. Alright, well that was anticlimactic. I guess that's a good thing. I'm gonna run this out a little bit. That's gonna be tough. I'm gonna run a little bit of it out, see if we're set up right. This stuff is so heavy that I've been pretty lucky with these ones. I'm up in Connecticut where the state flowers a rock. Every time you jam it in the ground you hit a rock. So I've been pretty fortunate with these ones. So we'll take this, run it down. I'm gonna come back and measure these. Twist it once, twist it twice. Just want it to where it's not gonna go down. And when you get pressure on these things, they're not gonna move. So I'll grab well, I thought we were moving on. Damn Jenny's all. I have to get me a new Jenny. This one's broke. Oh, it tipped over. Awesome. The soil's so wet back there that it doesn't hold. It won't hold the Jenny upright. It just sinks into the ground so the edge catches. Well, it's working right now, so I think when I stop, the slack comes out of it. So what I might do, since I'm right here, whip this bad boy on. This is my corner post. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna run this whole thing out. As you can see, I switched up how I got this spinning Jenny. I had it on the ground, which is what it's designed for, but the soil's too wet, and so when you get any tension on it, it just makes it tilt, and then these edges grab. Luckily, I put my little trailer hitch on here. I clipped this onto the back of my carryall, and I can haul my wood splitter or my little trailer for splitting wood. I just keep it mounted right here. You never know what you're going to use it for. But yeah, today it's coming handy. All right, I'm gonna cut this back and then start stringing out the other 1,500 feet of wire. It's fun. It's worth it in the long run. It's definitely worth it to be able to be our own source of pork. Man, it's great. All right, guys, as you can tell, it's not the same day. It's 2 days later, and we've had a little bit of a change around here. Today we're gonna start off with doing some of the chores, and then we'll get back to work. Takes a couple minutes. All right, girls, let's go throw it on this stump. They look like wild pigs, but these Mangalisas, and they're sweet. The nice, gentle pigs, for as aggressive as they look. Or maybe I just got lucky. Either way. Come on, guys. I'll get you some feed. Come on. So it's obviously the next day. My microphone ended up dying yesterday, and I didn't get to record some of the stuff that I anticipated. So I did finish running 2 strands of the high tensile. I'd say I ran probably 2,500 feet, just guesstimating. And right now I'm making the connectors to run the inlines to separate the paddocks. These red snapper ones, they work well. You just can't set them up until you get a little bit of tension on the fence because they just dangle. But I ended up going with a different style one. These ones are the corner post high strain insulator, which these ones, you just got to make sure you know the number that you're going to use, so you can put them on ahead of time as you're going, because it's just a solid piece that you got to thread it through. So today I'm going to end up just running more of this high tensile, setting them up. I don't anticipate this taking as long as running the full length of the fence, especially since I got it on the tractor and there's no snags. As you can see, it's pretty thick in here. There's a bunch of briars. There's still a little bit of tall grass. In the summer and fall, this is 6-7 feet high with grass. And it's just abundant with nutrients, and they logged this like 3 years ago before we bought the place and kind of destroyed the habitat. So we're gonna end up coming back through and fixing all this stuff up again. We'll run one round of pigs on each paddock, and then as we go through, we're gonna reseed and try to kind of get our Silvo pastures going, get a good pasture going in the woods, because there's a bunch of oak trees and maples, there's some hickories, so not only are they gonna have the grass and whatever protein or nutrient we put in here, that they're gonna have acorns and the hickory nuts and whatever. So it's all a long process. I'm gonna have to wait and see how it develops out. It's always good to have a kind of a plan and see if it turns out how we wanted it. This place, it used to be, so our place, we have 30 acres, and a couple years before we bought the place, well, we only lived here for a year, so a couple years before we bought it, they came in and logged it and destroyed a beautiful forest. There's a bunch of trees that are laying down that, in order for us to set up like poultry pastures for our broilers and this pig pasture, that it's a bunch of trees we got to remove, and it's so muddy back here. You can't get the truck, can't get the trailer. You're pretty much gonna have to cut wood up and then and take it out bit by bit, which is fun because I'm looking to sell firewood next year. So most of the wood that's been on the ground has been seasoned. I might have to let it season for another 6 months after I cut it up. We burn all this stuff in our house. It burns well. It's a bunch of hardwoods. We do have a nice pine patch, and I cut down a bunch of the pines to make room for the goats, and we use that for our kindling. Works great because some of the wood that we've done was still wet like the first year, our first winter here. This is our second winter. A lot of that was wet. All right, guys, so far I've got 2 rows done, and I got the fence started to be tightened up. But as you can see, it's thick. It's thick in here. This is gonna be good pasture. Hopefully this is all gonna be turned up, made into some kind of Silvo pasture. But I have I've got 2 mid-span stretches left to do. Where am I at? Am I in here? So the first thing I did wrong with this project is I did not support my T-posts enough for this soil. What I might end up going back and doing is taking some of the old pine trees that I got back there and just digging some post holes and putting those in the ground and putting the stakes on them. I mean, right now for just the pigs, you don't need a lot of tension on your line. You just need it taut. Me being a perfectionist and seeing when I get a little bit of pressure and tension on the T-posts, they just start pulling out of the ground. This soil sucks for that. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out these last two, and then I'm probably gonna end up coming back and showing you what I'm gonna fix, and then I'll show you the entire thing just so you guys have an idea of what I did. Come on, Rosie. Come on, girl. Come on. What you been doing? Come on over here. Come on over here. My little farm dog, what you been doing? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a good girl. What you doing? Oh, what you doing? What do you say we get these last two knocked out, Rosie, and then call it a day? Looks like my microphone died there. Who knows how far into the video that it died. Long story short, I got all the sections of the paddocks ran. I haven't tightened them up fully. I went through and I ran the front pieces. I was only able to get one strand fully run, and then a quarter of the next one I ran out of wire. Apparently I've used over 4,000 feet of wire, so my calculation on that was a little bit off. I thought I was going to use around 3,750 feet. But yeah, looks like it's more around 4,550 feet. Tomorrow I'm going to finish doing the gates, and I'm going to pull up the temporary paddock I got for the pigs, and so they can run with a regular hot wire. And then yeah, I mean, that paddock's ready to go. A little bit of tidying up around the fence, clean up some brush. I'm hoping I can get this paddock overseeded, so because they've tilled it up pretty well. It needs to get seeded so they can when they rotate back around, there's actually grass in it. Yeah, that's all I got for this evening. I'm pretty pooped. That's a lot of walking. Let's see, 4,000 feet. Yeah, but you're doing laps, so that's probably like 4 miles worth of walking. Yeah, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, and we'll see how those gates go together. I did come up with a different way of connecting the corner posts and the end lines. I'll show you guys that. If you guys ever have these black plastic connectors that the pull pin always breaks off of, I found another use for those. I'll show you that tomorrow. And yeah, keep on keeping on. And I'm gonna go get some drink. All right, welcome back, day 3. We're gonna be setting the gates today. I'm just gonna run all the gates today, and I don't have T-posts for the mid-span pieces. I'll come back at a later time and add those in. But right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paddocks set up. Just need the gates, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. All right, so for the gate pieces, this is gonna be an end piece, so there's not gonna be a handle here. We're gonna do I'm gonna take our 14 gauge wire. Hey girls, you guys ready to have some more room, ain't you? Ready to get to the good fresh stuff. Rose. I guess technically that's hot. Did I bring my insulated ones? Alright, let me go ahead and take that off. Lay that off to the side. We don't care if it's popping right now or not. This is hot, but I'm not too worried about that right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna make it to where the height of this is also gonna be, these clips are gonna set, they're gonna be setting the height of the fence all the way around. I'm gonna go back and readjust these and have these connectors also attached to these on the inline span, so everything's adjusted at the same time and same height. Just come back in and reinforce them to make sure they can withstand all the pressure from the end lines being pulled tight. That's what I found. It makes me the happiest, because I don't really care about how tight it is, because I'm going to come through. Let's see, this piece. This is the piece that runs 40 yards down, and so all I'm going to do with it is put it on. God damn, got a little tickle for something. Just gonna go cut the fence off. All right, so I'm just gonna take these splice barrels and just splice these wires together. It's just a cleaner look. I already have the stuff. Doesn't have to be perfect. So we got our two Nubian goats. They're just over a year old. We got them when they were babies. We're trying to get them bred this year. So we borrowed a goat from a friend, and it looks like they're still in heat, so they're doing their thing over there. It's good. We'll have some little goats on the farm come beginning of June into May. Get some more kids over here. I know, you just want them ear pets, don't you? You just want them ear pets. Yeah, you do. You guys are next. I think we're gonna mix you with some Duroc. So our Mangalese and Mulefoot crosses, I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna try to artificially inseminate them this year. They're a little over a year and a half old, and so we're gonna try to get some Duroc and mix them with that, and then do our own piglets and start our pig operation. We're gonna get this up, get this fence going, and then get that enterprise going. Because we were going to eat you guys, but you guys too cute. We need to breed you guys to make more money so we can buy more pigs and eat more pork. Alright, let's see. Alright, we got that tight on there. I'm gonna say that's good enough. I'm only gonna do one for now. We can go ahead and tighten this, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna go down to the gate side and we'll do the gate side, and then let's go do that. All right, so I'm coming back to these black connectors. This one still has the piece on it to put in for the fence to stay aligned if you're going inline. But what I'm gonna do with them is I'm just gonna use them so I'm able to adjust them up and down. And for that, when the tension gets put on them, to make sure they stay on, what I've been doing is cutting off a little bit of extra wire. Cutting off a little bit of extra wire and then bringing it in here, looping it through the top piece, and then bringing it back and using it just to hold it tight. So if it ever wants to go, if there's a piece on the side, if it ever wants to unbend from around here, this wire won't let it. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just come in here. Looks good. It works sufficient. All right, so we'll take, I also cut another little piece. So we'll get in here with this one and I'm gonna feed it straight through here. And for this, I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna double loop it. Pig's being all sassy about something. All right, so we got it double looped and we got it on there and it's pulled taut. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come back and I'm gonna put the connector on. I'm gonna back off a little bit so you guys can see better. All right, so now we want this to be hooked on and going tight that way. So what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna take another splice barrel, because my fingers are too jacked up to be able to rotate this 12.5 gauge wire. Just gonna put that on, grab this. Oh, I'm just gonna pull it tight. To where it's just off the ground. Go with that. I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna roll in right another couple inches down. Bend it over. Oops. Wasn't supposed to do that. Let's try it again. Okay, I'm good with that. Alright, so I'm gonna bend that, keep that bent over. Oh, you guys can't even see. Alright, I'll show you again. Alright, so I'm gonna switch over to this connector. So what I did was I put it on here and I pulled it tight, right? That's taut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unclip it from here and I'm gonna go back 2 more inches this way, and I'm just going to bend that over. Let's see, get my cutters. Cut that. Grab my splice barrel, bring it back into town. Grab my pliers or vice grips. I'm just gonna mash it down a little bit to make it straight. Run that over, call it good. Grab my crimper. Crimp it once. Crimp it twice. And then we'll come in here. It's got like 4 inches. That's more than enough. Boom, now we got a tight fence. And I'll still get some inline small T-posts. So I'm not gonna use these. I'm probably gonna get some fiberglass T-posts, drill some holes in them. And then I'll do that all the way around. Yeah, happy with that. I'm gonna go do the rest of them, then I'll be back. All right, just showing you the finished connection of what I just did. Got the splice barrel, hooked it onto the end of the tensioner on the handle, and then I got the handle hooked up to the black connector, which the black connector also hooked up to the next length of fence. And as you can see, it's taut all the way down, and that's good enough. It's enough tension, keeps it off the ground, ready to go. Need to put this piece on to ensure it doesn't go anywhere. Because sometimes if you get too much tension on the fence, the clip will actually bend off. But you run a strand of wire on it, it's not an issue. Good. It ain't going nowhere. Now we'll just run the other section. Same stuff. We'll run it right up. Actually, put the splice barrel on. Then we'll run it right up. And we'll get the next side of it. Already got it set up. We'll go ahead and just crimp it. Alright, now I'll run down and do the next side of the gate. Fairly simple process. Alright, now I just gotta walk down and get another T-post and use it for the last in gate. And then, so the plan is, so once they get out the last in gate, then I'll run another temporary strand along the edge of the rock wall all the way down, and then we'll get them back into a loading pin. I don't see any sense in running more line than what's needed over here if I already got temporary rolls. I got 3-4 rolls of the Super 9 temporary wire that I currently have set up. So 5-year plan is I'm hoping to get some cows back on the back few acres, and so we'll do rotational grazing with the other temporary rolls of fencing. Well, we're also gonna, I got more stuff that's off to the side over there that needs to get cleared up. So I'll probably end up fencing that off for the pigs too. Have them clear that out. And then I'll be able to use that for something else. Right now we're starting small. Just trying to get our infrastructure all set up. These pigs are ready for some new space. I can see it. They talking to me. Hey girls, you guys ready? You ready to go get in some pond? Are you gonna stomp up the pond and make it hold more water? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take this T-post at this last fence. I'll be back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do what, 4? I probably need 4 spacers in the middle to hold the fence at the right height. I mean, it's honestly with just the tension of on the handles, it's holding about 12 inches off the ground. But I would feel better if I had those inline fiberglass posts ran, because we have tree branches fall all the time, and so I'd hate for it to sag and then pigs didn't see it and walked right over it. Like right here, elevation changes a little bit more in certain spots, so yeah, need it to hold the fence down. It's been a pretty simple project. It's just tedious. One person, you're just doing everything over and over again. So I need some refinements. I got to go back through and clean up some more brush, tighten the fences up a little bit more, and then yeah, we're almost done. All right, so our last post, this is going to be where the end gate is. It's pretty much ending where we started at the beginning of the video. Yeah, there'll be a wood gate here. We'll go back through that too. I'll come back out and take a little bit better video, give you guys a walk around of what happened. Well, you guys know what happened, but it's gonna be the end gate. I want to put this T-post in the ground, tighten the wire up, make a gate, temporary gate, and then I'll walk through, tighten up the fence, and then give you guys a flyover of what we've done here. All right, here we go. All right, so for this one, I actually ran out of those of the extra black inline connectors, so I'm gonna go back to using the donut connector for this. So we'll go ahead and grab our splice. Splice, bro. And I made this one a little bit too long. I forgot I was doing the end gate, and so I made it a little bit longer than it needed to be. So we'll go ahead and cut that back. Run this splice barrel down. Take this connector. Go ahead and get it on there. Decent height. So I'm gonna come back later and adjust all this. That's gonna be it for now, and then come back on here. they have you tie these two loops together. So when you're turning this and it's creating this center knot, that it automatically centers itself. So when I was trying to tie it around the T-post and then have a little stretch of line and then tie it around this clip, this little knot, when you tighten up the wire, would cinch to the little red snapper clip, and it would throw it off to the side and throw this all out of tilt. So there is a method to their madness, and I figured out the hard way why. Easy's not always better, so. Alright. So we'll get this. Keep feeding it through. Like, it doesn't have to be super taut. I would like it to be tauter than that. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Because I don't like how much slack. It does better with the handles. Maybe I'll go ahead and put a handle on here in case I want to get the tractor in. Yeah, I think that's a better idea. I'm still going to use this snapper clip because obviously I don't have anything else. But slide that off. Is that how it is? I have another handle. Oh, I do. I got one more handle. A lot of this stuff, like I said, I purchased a while back. I used it for some things. Now I'm reusing it, so at least it gets repurposed. I'll do the same thing. I'll create a little loop. And then feed it through. And then create my other loop. Slide this around, pull it tight. Get my gate handle. I already got my splice barrel ran on. So I'll get the gate handle, tie that on. Pull it tight just like I did the other ones. Take my cutter. I'll go ahead and cut this back. Take the gate handle off. I'll take it about 3-4 inches more. Bend it over. Straighten that back out. And the splice barrel back on. That's good. Might have cut a little too much off. That's nice and tight. Come back. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple. This piece is connected to the T-post and it's not electrified. This handle is electrified, which comes through the tension rod to the handle. That makes this electrified. It being on the red snapper makes it, which is non-conductive, is not gonna be in a, what do you call it, a medium to transfer the electricity to the ground. So we're good there. We'll just have to make sure every time we do these style gates that those wires are separate. This piece from the gate to here is never going to be energized. It's going to have the wood gate, so the pigs always know that this is a safe place. Because if we made it hot, which we've already seen, and we watched videos where other people made a mistake, since pigs are so smart, and you run electric wire here, it'll forever be a psychological barrier to them. So if they'll come up to the wood gate, rub on it and whatever, but they'll know it's a safe spot and they're not gonna get hurt. All right, I got this taut. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna go get the drone, take a few drone shots, and then while I'm doing that, I'll also evaluate how many extra inline posts I'm gonna need. That's about the only thing I wasn't prepared for, was how many inline posts am I gonna need. So that's the next step. Go through, clear a little bit of brush, and come back with the inlines. Yeah, we'll get you guys some after shots of running the fence. All right, folks. So it's the end of day 3, and I'm gonna call it a wrap. I did 95% of the fence. The only thing that's left is the second bottom strand that goes the full length. So I'm gonna wrap this video up with that. Yeah, it's ready to go. I ended up just using some pallets as my gates. Where are we at over here? Ended up just throwing a pallet up. Use that as my gates. I'm gonna end up chaining them off. Yeah, I'm gonna end up chaining them off so we can have them more secure. Yeah, I'm calling it a night. I'm calling it the end of the video. I'll put a couple links to some of the products that we used, and then I'll just go back over before I end the video on exactly what I did, showing you with a little bit of drone footage and some animation. Yeah, let's get into